So like I said, this week's lore comes from the Patreon. If you'd like to hear any lore whatsoever, make sure you're in the Patreon, the Discord, or leave a YouTube comment. And this week's lore via Patreon comes to you right now, hot and ready, of the glow from Fallout 1. The glow, the great glow, the hot spot. Some of the Brotherhood of Steel refer to this as the Ancient Order. What is formerly a West Tech research facility established in 2055 was primarily used for biological studies. Now, this is the beginning area of where FEV or PvP, which I'll get into a little bit later of the different names. This is where this starts. Some weapons, some tech, some other stuff is developed here, but this is where FEV pretty much starts. They were also making the cure for the new plague. And like I said, FEV. Now, West Tech, in 2069, became the single biggest private contractor of the American government. It is divided into two divisions. The advanced weapons, which is making T-51B power armor, other advancements in armor, and energy weapons. It also is the Pan-Immunity Virion Project, or PvP, which later becomes FEV, the Forced Evolutionary Virus. In 2055, it is pretty much just biological research. 2071 to 2076, the West Tech facility is secured by the military. So the military of these United States is the people, the residents, that are the most in charge of this facility. They are there to, like I said, make sure that they can use, because the original idea for FEV was to make super soldiers. And they're trying to make super soldiers, but they're also trying to create weaponry. And I get into some of the weapons that you can find a little bit later. Mostly energy stuff, the most powerful stuff in Fallout 1. Research on PvP/FEV stopped in 2076 due to the fear of internal espionage, and PvP research was later transported to the Mariposa military base. A thing that I appreciate about these early games is how everything feels so connected. New Vegas does a very good job at this. I appreciate Fallout 3 for how in shambles everything feels, because that's and I hate this word, but the vibe that the entirety of the game gives off. So even though not everything feels super duper connected, I appreciate that. Personally, I kind of like small pockets of civilization trying to live. But the glow itself, an area so irradiated that after just a few moments of exposure, that could be enough to be lethal. There's a thing that I was reading. I didn't write it down. I didn't think it was super important, but it gives you, when you first get there, gives you a healthy dose of rads that you can actually rest there. This is a totally in-game feature. You can rest there, and it gives you like over 13,000 rads. I believe it was like 16,400 rads, killing you instantly, and could lock you out of the game more or less if you haven't saved properly. Now, by 2077, the Great War happens, and a direct hit from a nuke caves in the top of the facility. A gaping hole that is where the facility once was is now just there, and the FEV tanks inside release into the air, making FEV mutate with the radiation. The radiation mutated the FEV once airborne, mutating differently than in Mariposa. Because of the high rads, New Californians often refer to this area as the glow. Now, real quick, I get all of my lore off of fallout.fandom.com, the Nukipedia, if you will. And I have additional notes here because I wanted to talk about the layout. I feel like a lot of people who play Fallout 1 will go into it and hit the glow and kind of get stuck. I know I got stuck there. I also got stuck on the Brotherhood quest where you have to go to the hub and kill those guys. But I feel like the glow, the last time I streamed it, the glow got me because I didn't realize that the radiation poison would continue. I thought it was very much modern Fallout rules where you get it and then it just hinders you in some way. It doesn't increase until you're dead, or the effects happen until you've passed. So the exterior is an irradiated hole to the ancient, and I have ancient in air quotes, research facility that a rope can be used to descend into. Level 1. Much of this part of the building was pretty much destroyed by the bombing. Sergeant Allen's body can be found here. We're going to talk about Sergeant Allen and the Brotherhood of Steel momentarily, so if I reference any names, just remember, these are guys that were part of a splinter cell of the Brotherhood of Steel. They're a defective group, if you will. Level 2, affected by the bombs but still intact. Some security robots are here, and you can also find the red passkey. On level 3, house the weapons, research, and development labs. Some labs can be found around with weapons and ammo. Now, this part of the game, since I said before, always confused me. I always feel like I got stuck here. Whenever I get to the glow, I feel like I'm in and out immediately. So I do not have a ton of research into the depths that is the glow, this entire underground bunker that was used so that man could manipulate science and play God. Level 4, a Zax supercomputer that oversaw research in the labs. He has been idling since the bombing. I'm pretty sure this is a reference to Harlan Ellison's I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. Harlan Ellison, who I would probably say, I would probably say is my favorite author, but I also wouldn't say that I have a favorite author. I don't feel like I read enough. But Ellison is a guy who wrote A Boy and His Dog. He's also one of the guys with the only, I believe it's the Nova Award, because they gave the director of A Boy and His Dog the award. And he goes, well, I wrote the damn thing. Can I get an award? And they said, we only have bases. And he goes, I'll take the base. So, he has an award. It's a fantastic movie. I want to read the books. I also really want to read I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, but everything I found online was $600. Why is knowledge being kept behind such a paywall? I can download a PDF right now. Nothing's stopping me. But I want to own a physical piece of media. I want to hold it in my hand. I don't want to listen to an audiobook. Unless maybe Ellison himself reads it. But the Zax computer, Zax being a supercomputer that's seen throughout. I believe some of the vaults are powered by Zax. One of the vaults in 76, I'm pretty sure, is powered by a Zax. That I think that might be the one that was for nuclear winter. Don't quote me on that. We're not talking about that vault. We're talking about the glow. But the computer idling, biding his time, doing what he's doing, is very much a reference to Harlan Ellison's I Must Scream and I Have No Mouth, which there's a video game about it and Ellison's in it, and I want to read the book before I play the game. It's also might be a reference in some weird way to Me, M.E., the Gary Newman song. If you've heard Basement Jaxx, Where's Your Head At? You've heard the beat because it's sampled from that. That song is a song about the last supercomputer on Earth that is just sitting there waiting because there's no more humans left. That's the other thing I thought of. That's a fantastic song. Listen to that if you get a chance. He's frustrated by the inability, the Zax computer, frustrated by the inability to run basic routines. This floor has some of the most advanced research development sections in the entirety of the facility. Level 5, the heart of the R&D facility. The least accessible, sealed off and protected by 3 robot checkpoints. There are labs where FEV was developed, and the Winchester P94 plasma rifle. I love how the plasma rifles look like miniguns in this, but they're like plasma casters. They're disgusting. They're beautiful. They're very sci-fi, and they're very, 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 very powerful. So records of the development of FEV can be located here. And level 6, the living quarters of the research facility, which I think is crazy to think you live where you work. A base that's so highly kept secret. They move their biggest project from one base to another because of espionage. People live here. People don't leave here. This in of itself is somewhat like a vault. And not an effective vault, but kind of a vault. These people were trapped in there. These people were on the 6th floor. They didn't get out. Bomb hit everything, went haywire. It housed power generators, and the generator fuse got stuck in a locking position, losing power to the entire base. You can also find one of Sergeant Allen, a man who I will get to shortly. One of his men are down here. Now, post-October 27th of 2077, sometime after 9:47 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, when the bombs fall, Sergeant Allen, a group in Mariposa Military Base who were soon to become the Brotherhood of Steel, gather a small offshoot under Captain Maxon. And they want to explore. Sergeant Allen's men want to go explore the former West Tech facility for artifacts. Maxon refuses, tells Allen that it's a suicide mission, that he's wasting his time. You need to be here in Mariposa with your men. But Allen still takes his leave, takes some tech, takes some weapons, and some members. Soto, Jensen, and Caramillo, just to name a few. They were killed by robots and the radiation of the glow once they arrived. And like I said previously, one of the artifacts that you take with you is the holodisc, before they were holotapes, the holodisc that tells the demise of Alan and his people. When people approach the Brotherhood of Steel to join, they send them on a fool's errand to the glow to retrieve an ancient artifact. The Vault Dweller brings back a holodisc that has a recording of the fate of Alan and his crew. This earns the Vault Dweller a place in the Brotherhood of Steel. What I like about this is they let you in, but they're not happy that you're in. You won, and you won on their terms, and they're men of their words, and they have to do what they said. They're not happy about it because they thought you were going to fall off and die. But hey, a deal's a deal. Sometime after 2161, this I actually didn't know. I never put two and two together to say that these were related. Don't know why. Sometime after 2262, ghoul survivors from Necropolis, so depending on the fate of Necropolis, whoever survived there travels, settles the town of Dayglow, what was formerly San Diego. It is both a city and one of 5 NCR states. It's some of the biggest. Shady Sands, Boneyard, Dayglow. It's huge territory. It's a state in which is owned by the new California Republic. A salvage operation has started between Antietam, I always say Antietam, and the hub, becoming quite profitable. I love the idea of a tomb. I love the idea of a place where technology was. This, more or less, could be seen as one of the places where humanity fell the hardest. This could be seen as an area where humanity's greed caught up to itself. Acts like the Glow, places like the West Tech facility that this game is based around, things like this, is all just about greed and corruption. And what happens again when you try to play God. And these people were doing something evil, unequivocally evil. Making weapons is one thing. As long as man will be here, we will be violent, we will be making weapons, we will be finding ways to kill each other. Mutating men to be super soldiers is a different level of evil, just akin to some German folks from like 35 to 42, 33 to 45. Look up some of the stuff that was done in those camps. Evil, awful, miserable, repugnance. But that's kind of what this is meant to replicate. It's meant to mirror and saying, look, these are the good guys. Look what we're doing. That's all I really have to say about the Glow, my friends, and that is this week's lore. Hey, hi, it's Vince. I hope you enjoyed that video you just watched. If you'd like to support in any sort of way, in the description below there's links to my Twitter, the show's Twitter, and the Patreon. You could support at any level, and you could be on screen like some of the names are currently. I hope to see you soon. Thank you for watching, and if you get a chance, check out another one of my videos. I'd really appreciate it. Share it with a friend. Cool. I'll see you guys later. Be safe. I love you. Bye.